Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 19th of September, and of course Wednesday was a little more interesting. We were talking about the weakness that was within the daily chart in general. It was what I called a soft bullish on the Skype chat. Wasn't a whole lot happening, but we got the contract rollover going for the moving into the December contract. And I was talking about the 29.90 here for the S&P, which was the ABM yellow. And we knew that we had on the 5K chart like the 94, and below that though there wasn't anything until we were getting into the 77 range and that. And so we had a little bit of follow through there, and our 5K bought the near the bottom of it, and it bounced right back off that. We got above once it was back above the ABM yellow, and it was free to go. But you dip below the red line, which means we're probably coming back to this. It's just going to be a question of when. We still don't quite have the same improvement, at least from an S&P standpoint, that you do on the NASDAQ. You'd already seen the steel turn up for short-term buyers, and the mid-term buyers had already started from the NASDAQ standpoint. So NASDAQ faring much better and quite a bit stronger. Euro, again, they were expecting probably a bit more of a rate cut from the U.S., but the weak response that came from the Fed really didn't provide any bolstering to the euro. I mean, the euro's already in trouble. They were looking for something a little bit stronger as far as a weakening of the U.S. dollar situation, and that just didn't happen with what the Fed did. So that kind of ruined the exuberance for the euro. This should have been, making a nice run, but not happening. From an oil standpoint, news out of Saudi Arabia that it's not going to take them that long to get back into the game. So the euphoria of skyrocketing prices was probably a bit overworked. There's always the excitement factor, and then the reality sets in that probably the disruption's not even going to be enough to get rid of the glut that's currently residing in the market as it is right now. From a gold standpoint, not doing anything for them because it's not suggestive of higher tensions, because Trump has indicated it just isn't really all that excited about starting a conflict with Iran, and that they were going to take their time. So we'll see how that plays out. But unless there's a increase in tensions, this was a matter of filling back previous dip below the red line here, and we've been in a soft spread since, well, the peak, since we got the magenta candle back over here. Not a whole lot has changed from that standpoint. So here we are from the 5K standpoint. We can slide back to the early part of the day. As we were putting these charts up, we kind of got the softness early on from the peak, so I was looking for a move right back down to the 94 range. And interim, we got the soft buy that came in here, and you see why this is a soft buy, because we did not have a step down below this, the red, and it had been so long since that had happened over here that it had lost any power. So even when you did get the buy, as soon as it crossed over, first thing I'm looking for is any steel move below cyan, and that comes right at 50%, which turned out to be perfect timing for it, and even before the full magenta candle, because that was waiting for the rollover of the shakeout. But this was a clean indication off of that kind of a soft buy, and that led to the dip, and that came all the way down and put us below the 94, which caught a lot of support and an immediate buyback push. But then the exact same thing happened. You get no reset again here, and the same situation where steel crosses below, the orange moves above, and then you have the green fading over, and boom, that led to the further dip, which took us below that 94. And before we could get to the 77, we started to just consolidate coming around. We ended up with another soft buy that came in here with the blue candle. And in this particular case, when the blue candle comes in, I'm looking for the red DOC to break out past the previous pivot, which in this particular case happened to be right over here. It was negative 1099. And so by the time you come across, you're just following it. This one, I'm still at negative 1113, not quite good enough. And right here, 942. Still ended up with a little bit of downdraft from that, but needless to say, that was the beginning of the turn. And then it was just literally a matter of following ABM yellow, and just pretty much stayed with that all the way through with cyan. Completely under red at this particular point, where we ended up with a lot of positive extremes. So, move back to that, 3,000 range. It's not unlikely at this particular point with that. Just a matter of waiting for proper signal from it. So all in all, good day, a lot of range, and really good with what we were seeing from a reading standpoint. So very happy with that setup overall. As always, though, if there's anything new and interesting like I did today, I'll put up plenty of charts to show this kind of setup, because I think it's pivotal when these colored candles come in and you're able to see that kind of transition of DOC red. This particular point, when it didn't break through the negative 7.5, I knew it was just going to be another matter of waiting for a turnaround. And so it's one of those where even if you're defensive, the turnaround point right here, because it broke above this previous pivot right there, right at the 7.5, and that was right on this one that broke through the 23%, and that led to the overall move. So good stuff. As always, though, trade well. We'll talk again later.